Hey y'all, this is my review for The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Episode 2. If you notice, this ain't my place. I'm in Atlantic City right now. It is Monday morning. I came here for a friend's B-Day, and yeah, you know the work never stops. This YouTube life, you know? Anywho, let's get into the episode. So we open up the episode with Sonya and her family, and just such an interesting fact about her. So in this house that she lives in, not only does she live with her parents, but her sister, her husband, and their 2 kids too. So it's 9 people living in that house. Now, I love this actually. Like all the families in one house. Maybe that'll drive some people crazy, notably me, but I love this for them. It works. She said she moved her entire family from Jamaica to the United States. I think that's really cool. I would think that's definitely old school, but my Caribbean followers in the chat, let me know, is that something normal in the culture? Because, I mean, I just find it fascinating. I love this for her, though. I'm not being sarcastic, I promise. I just love Sonya. She's so cheerful, and then the little accent, too. Who wants eggs, man? I know, that was probably terrible. I'm sorry, my Jamaican fans, I'm sorry. What? And she putting the family to work too? Her mom is like her manager and her sister does her hair? I love it. I love it. So what you fussing about then? Look, I'm gonna probably do this all season, y'all, so bear with me. I'm gonna get a good Jamaican accent. Y'all know I'm serious about my impressions. I'm gonna get it right. And we don't want the beef patty. Okay, I promise I'm gonna move on with the review, I promise. Uh-oh, we had a little family argument between the sisters and their mom. The mom ain't playing. Okay, maybe the 9-in-1 household isn't that great of an idea. I don't know, but they making it work. So next scene, we're in Charade's immaculate house that I'm pretty sure she finally paid off. And wow, look who's coming over. It is Kenya Moore. I mean, they are neighbors. I'm not sure why Kenya's acting like this is her first time over by Charade's house. But Charade is showing her basement because a few seasons ago, Kenya was ragging on Charade about her unfinished basement. And when I say it is finished now, wow. This looks like a whole other section of the house. It has an entertainment room and spa room. Charade, I'm trying to just figure out, like, where did she get the money? It doesn't matter. The basement looks beautiful, Charade. Oh, Charade, that confessional look, it's gonna bother me every time I see it. I just know it. That blue eyeshadow and that pink corset top, no. So they're sitting down chatting. It's nice to see that they're getting along. I like them more as friends than enemies. So of course they're talking about Marlo's gala, and I'm wondering why isn't Kenya mad at Charade for going to run tell that of what all the ladies said to Marlo, which made her go off on the ladies in the first place. So now Kenya is talking more about Marlo to Charade, and she knows Charade is going to go run and tell that to Marlo. Ooh, and Messi Charade, here she go. Now she telling Kenya what Marlo said, that she's driving Lisa Ray's car around in Atlanta. As well as saying that she used to stay in an apartment, actually wasn't in a hotel, with a white refrigerator. Now I gotta say, I'm not about to rag on white refrigerators because I have a white refrigerator and I live at a nice place. It is whatever. I don't judge people's refrigerators. Y'all can. I'm not gonna pretend and be bougie. I have a white refrigerator. I don't care. You know what else? I eat on paper plates too, because I don't like washing dishes. So of course Kenya denies the Lisa Ray thing, but then Charade takes it to another level of messiness by adding Sonya to the conversation and calls her on FaceTime. Now Sonya, they're playing a game of telephone right now. Like that is not what Marlo said. Sonya mixes up the story even more. She says, yeah, Marlo told me you had a white refrigerator in somebody's townhouse. She didn't say that. No, not... Now Kenya coming at the Marlo edges, or her new edges. Not chia pet surgery. Oh man, am I really effing with Kenya this season? I might be effing with Kenya this season. It is a new day, y'all. Lord, now we got some more he said, she said. So Kenya has some tea for Charade. So she heard from Candy, and Candy heard from Drew, that Drew and Charade share the same messy ass assistant. He used to work with Charade for 3 years, now he works with Drew. And now this messy assistant is telling Drew that Charade owes him money. Again, adding to the narrative that charade don't pay people. And here we go with this messy ass storyline. Now, I was looking at clips of this assistant on Twitter this morning because I wasn't able to watch the episode yet. And someone told me, and shout out to whoever told me this, but this assistant was the messy queen in the center of the drama on Basketball Wives between Malaysia and Jackie. And now I smell a thirsty queen looking for some camera time. I actually blame Drew for this. Like, the sissy minion stereotype on Real Housewives of Atlanta is just so tired. Anyway, now that Charade knows this, I'm sure it's gonna start some beef between her and Drew. And speaking of Drew, next scene we're with her and her husband in their household. They have a personal chef cooking for them, and apparently they have 4 assistants. And production is letting us know, oh, this is assistant number 4. It really sucks that her husband is so fine, yet so toxic. He's fine as he is toxic. So as they're eating, Drew brings up to Ralph that Candy found his assistant's Instagram. Now, before she could say anything, he says, I told you I fired her. And then she says, well, do you still talk to her? He said, well, I didn't say I didn't talk to her. We don't do business anymore. What? Why are you talking to a woman about massages that don't work for you and not your wife? And what transpires after that is a 101 lesson in gaslighting, because that's what he continues to do to her on camera. He's making all the excuses, and then he brings up her insecurities, then says the woman is 50 years old. I mean, Drew, if you have suspicions like this, and apparently it's not the first one, girl, leave the man. I mean, I get that he is fine. I get that y'all got kids, but it is not worth it. He is embarrassing you like Mark embarrassed Kenya for however many seasons. A little part of me just thinks they are in on it. Like, she is acting right now, because I just don't understand why she would let this man like make a fool of her like this. Damn, he actually tells her you had it out for her since day 1 anyway. Wow. Wow. It's like whenever she calls him out for some inappropriate behavior, he's quick to turn around the narrative on her. They have her in her confessional saying, people say he gaslights me all the time. Production asks her, well, what's gaslighting to you? She had to look it up. So not only has she heard from other people that this man gaslights her, she don't even know what gaslight means. Like I said in my last review, this is going to be a tough season for Drew. Production got jokes. I mean, they need an Emmy for this episode too. They just went to a black and white montage of all the times Ralph has gaslit her. And it was 3 times, not including the one we just saw. Oh, production is on one this season. They must be under a different production company. Like, this must be the one for Potomac. They literally played the old school in black and white as he was gaslighting her constantly. I cannot. This is hard to watch. He continues to gaslight her. Then she tells him, well, I don't want you to resent me for telling you never to talk to her again. And he's like, well, I resent you for some other things too, but we're gonna talk about it later. I don't know. If she's happy with looking like a fool every week, that's on her. So next scene, we see a montage of what a few of the ladies are doing, and now we're with Candy, who, surprise, surprise, is telling us about her next business venture. I mean, it's every season with Candy. Candy, keep a check, Burris. So now she's financing this play. She's a producer of Thoughts of a Colored Man on Broadway. Now, I've heard some great things about it, and I haven't seen it yet, but I really do want to see it. So now Todd comes in the scene, and Candy's telling him like how happy she is. She's on cloud 9 that the play is doing well. She said she's going to have to go back and forth to New York. Now, Candy is busy. She is a successful businesswoman with 3 kids. She's telling Todd that she may need his help from time to time because she can't do this alone. And Todd gives some pushback saying, what do you mean alone? And then she calls him out saying that he takes a lot of trips and it disrupts the flow of everything. So then Todd tells her, don't you think it disrupts the flow when you're gone for months? Well, Todd, I mean, it's her money that's funneling a lot of y'all's business ventures. So if I were you, Todd, I would make sure that things were very easy for my wife. So I'm guessing this is going to be Candy's storyline again. Like, her and Todd just not on the same page because they both busy. Well, Candy's actually busy. Todd, I don't know. So now they're discussing property what the other has, and what I just found fascinating about this situation is Todd's name is not on Candy's current house that they live in. And she makes it a point that, you know, her name isn't on Todd's guest house that belonged to him and his ex at one point. So it looks like they're getting a little friction with that. Candy's just irritated that he doesn't want to touch up the house that they live in. He wants to touch up the house in Jersey that him and his ex used to be in. Because I'm sure Todd wants to use that as an Airbnb, some type of money scheme, something. So next scene we're with Marlo, and she's meeting Candy at the candy factory. I'm guessing that's her studio / headquarters. Marlo's messy. As soon as she pulls in with her driver, oh, this is a rough neighborhood, isn't it? The driver agrees with, like, yeah. And then tells her, well, it's not rough as it used to be. Production made sure to keep that part in. As she's meeting Candy, she's doing a photo shoot in complete, like, Halloween costume, dressed as a witch. And now they're having a conversation with Candy dressed like that. Ooh, Marlo, this confessional look, she should never have short hair. Cause that bus driver, some more wig she got on, it ain't in. So we're talking about Marlo's gala yet again, and she's just letting her know that she didn't really have anything negative to say about her event. She was just wondering, oh, I wonder how much she paid for this. And Marlo peeps game. She lets her know, well, that's been you for a long time. And production lets us know that Candy has been in Marlo's pocket since she stepped on the scene 10 years ago. Like, Candy will give you shade with a smile. Now, Marlo, how do you get your money? So Marlo's talking to Candy about her Plotline boys and just, you know, she wants to make sure that they're thankful for the things that she's doing for them. And Candy, she is such a smart businesswoman. She brings up the play that she's doing as an example to say, like, why for Black people does struggle have to be the norm? So then they talk about that, and Marlo brings up how Candy does nice things, you know, for her boys. Like, for example, she gave them like a graduation gift. But she's saying that their friendship is very superficial. And she's just wondering, can we hang out? You never invite me over. Can the boys come and see what family is like? And Candy reminds her, like, well, I mean, we're just getting cool again. Like, let's not forget what happened in the past, because Marlo used to come at Candy pretty hard. She would be the only one brave enough to come at Candy hard. Outside of Nene, but Nene was more subtle. Marlo, like, she would come directly for Candy. Candy acknowledges that, but she says, Marlo, you don't invite me over too. And then Marlo's like, well, come over tonight. So it looks like they're going to try and work on their friendship, which I think is going to get a little rocky between them, because I know they get into a fight later in the season. So next scene, we're with Drew working out. Oh my God, this sissy minion, is he really going to be in every episode going forward? And then Messi Production has him labeled as Drew's assistant and maybe Charade's assistant in the caption on the side. So then we see Ralph saying he has something special planned for her, and she's saying, well, you're gonna just put our issues on the back burner? He says no, but then he says some gaslight shit again where he wants to get their relationship on track, and if they don't like each other, anything can break them. Oh, God, I can't stand his fine ass. Ugh. So next scene, we're with Todd going into Blaze. Now, wait a minute, he's talking to a manager there. His name is Frederick. I used to work with Frederick. This is such a small world. So he's a manager now at Blaze. Me and Frederick used to work at Stats together. It was a real high-end sports bar in downtown Atlanta. I mean, he was cool. Sometimes he was an asshole, but he was mostly cool. Oh my God, Ralph coming too. Oh, we dedicating this scene to the husbands. Oh, this is definitely going to be a fast forward situation. So then Sonyas Husband comes in and he looks a lot like Lance Gross. I swear all these franchises are trying to recreate the Jersey magic that they have with the husband. So they having their bro conversation, dog, talking about want more kids. Todd like, I got a colonoscopy, dog. I'm trying to be here for my kids. A lot of bro energy. So now Ralph's trying to make these tired ass excuses of why he's messaging an ex-female assistant about massage therapy. And they're just laughing at him. So we have Ralph in the confessional saying more of his bullshit, but thank you production for throwing all the shade. Like they have question marks just coming up as he's talking. Oh my God, they are on one. Production is the star of the show this episode. Oh, and that's my time. They're talking about their perspectives and their situations. Nope. Fast forward. So next scene, we're with Marlo in her kitchen with her boys. She's also with her managers. She has 2 managers, and it's a husband and wife team. Interesting. And also, I love Marlo, but whenever we're with her solo, it just really looks like she's putting on for the cameras. Like, I can't help it. Does anybody else feel that way? Marlo was talking about one of her boys' homecoming. Fast forward. I will say in this scene, though, we see a 17-year-old Marlo. She looks 30 in this picture. Wow, what is it with Generation X and above just looking so old in high school? No offense to Generation X in the chat. I'm just saying, it was just an observation. No shade to y'all. So next scene, we're back with Drew, and it looks like she's getting ready for her formal date with Ralph. She has assistant number 3 picking her up. I want to know, why do they have all these assistants? That's what I want to know. As I'm looking at this scene, this is no shade to Drew, but she gives me low budget Megan Good. And she's just so excited to go on this formal date with her gaslighting ass husband. Like, they were just at odds like a day ago, and now she's like, oh my God, I'm so excited. Girl. Oh man, it looked like we closing out the episode with them. So she meets him at somebody else's residence. I like what Drew is wearing, but it looked like she about to perform on stage in Vegas. Like, all she needs is some tap dance shoes with this outfit. Or she looks like a magician's assistant. So their date is going well so far. Ralph is feeding her some bullshit about how much he loves her and care for her. If he wasn't toxic, he would be such a fucking catch. Like, can he just switch personalities with Russell Wilson? So they're talking, and Drew lets him know that this display is great and all, but she says, like, she doesn't want them to have these super high highs and then these terrible lows. And you can see by the added music by production that this conversation is about to go left. Oh my God. He just says bullshit, just a lot of gaslighting bullshit. Toxic ass nigga, seriously. You can't have all these expectations, and I'm gonna start with God. Had to throw God in it. God is like, now why am I in it? Ralph tells her that he would appreciate if they can just enjoy the evening and then save the talk for when they go to marriage counseling. But then, you know, Drew has a problem with that. She's like, well, okay, so you don't want us to have these conversations outside of a marriage counselor? And then he's like, no, I just don't want any expectations for tonight. Here they go. Here they go. Didn't they have an exact scene like this last season? Like when he did something real nice for her, they were having this dinner, and then it resulted in her in tears and him walking off. I feel like this is going to be the exact same scene. Y'all did this already. Whoa, whoa. He says, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna schedule you a talk with Dr. Ken so you can address men appropriately. Oh my God, not only is he toxic, but he's a chauvinist as well. I mean, at least she threw that shade right back at him and said, you know, I'm gonna schedule an appointment for you to know how to talk to women. She then says, you know, Dr. Ken called you a maniac? And then he says, well, maniacs aren't successful. Hold up. We all know who Kanye West is. Really? Maniacs can't be successful? She is not Googling maniac at the table. How many minutes we got left, y'all? We have 2 minutes. This is embarrassing for the both of them, but especially Drew. And Ralph, he's just not good at communication at all. And here go to gaslighting. He got her apologizing for calling him a maniac after the therapist told her that he's a maniac. Here go the tears. They just wasted a beautiful dinner. That food on the table looks so good. They're not even touching it. They're just busy arguing with each other. Honestly, the food on the table is more interesting than what they're talking about. Now they're just sitting in silence, and Drew, she's extremely upset, and she just walks away. So now she goes back to him and just says, I'm just trying to communicate with you. And then this N-word tells her, you know, maybe I just do too much. Like, is that his superpower? Gaslighting? Oh my God. Shit. If you lit a match with him in the room, it would be a nuclear explosion. Wow, this is disgusting. He tells her, I regret doing this for you. So then he walks off. She stays at the table and just continues to eat her food. I mean, I wouldn't waste that food either, girl, but that is where the episode ends. Damn, like, I really pitied Drew in this scene, but girl, this is just episode 2. I'm sure we got 18 episodes in this season, plus a 3-part reunion. This is going to be a tough season to watch you, Drew. I really feel bad for her. I hope she's not doing this on purpose, but I kind of hope she is, because she is embarrassing herself right now, and the check is not worth it. Y'all, we've seen this before last season. Seriously, get a divorce. Get a divorce. Anywho, this episode was cute. Not as good as the first one. I heard the ratings last week was under 1 million. It was like 933,000. I'm hoping this week more people watch because Atlanta getting under 1 million, that's not usual. It's not. And they had the lowest premiere in the show's history. Hopefully, more people are watching. But I get it. Not everybody watches on Sundays at the same time anymore. People busy. I was busy. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see y'all for the next episode. Bye.